What's up, Patreons? You guys are the first ones to hear this information and get it through. It's never really been reported correctly, so you guys are the first to actually get it. So here we go. Now, we're going to tell you about the other flu game. The one that didn't get a lot of media press. One that died out and some people thought it was fake and they just wanted to create it to go along to try to make Kobe Bryant more like Michael Jordan. And then they stepped away from it. But I'm here to let you know it is 100% true. As Vanessa Bryant brought it up in the speech that she did. But you guys probably didn't know what detailed a lot of it. So here we go. Let's get to it. New Jersey, right outside of New York, the hit show The Sopranos was taking over the entire industry in 2002 as it just took off in 99. So by 2002, Sopranos was the biggest thing on television and put Jersey right on the map. Everyone wanted to be Tony Soprano and the Soprano family. Jersey was in full play and represented fully with James Gandolfini's performance. And how does this tie into Kobe Bryant's flu game? Here it all comes full circle. Referee Tim Donnelly had a couple of buddies, Baba and his other buddy, who were low-level Jerseymen, right? You knew they were not fixing games, but actually point shaving. They weren't changing the outcome of the game. What they actually were doing was shaving off a few points and actually leaning towards the favor so they can basically win the bets. The thing about Donnelly is the bets that he did place, he was right about almost 90%, which is going to make someone a lot of money and definitely is going to show up on the FBI's radar when people are just getting lucky way too much. Anyway, the Sacramento Kings were getting ready to play the Los Angeles Lakers to see who was going to go to the NBA Finals. And this was the big matchup that people had waited on. Meanwhile, on the other side, the New Jersey Nets are basically not that far away from getting to the NBA Finals. Now, with this actually playing out, a lot of mobsters were betting on the New Jersey Nets at this time, and Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, they were running the table. So there were a lot of activity of money being placed down for the New Jersey Nets to win, but very large amounts of money was coming out of Jersey from the mob. Matter of fact, by them actually reaching the NBA Finals, people made a ton of money in Jersey just off the New Jersey Nets winning and going to the NBA Finals. If you want to look at the conspiracy side of it, you have to look a little bit on the other side too. People focus on the Lakers and the Kings. You got to also look at the New Jersey Nets playoff games that they had in 2002. They had a lot of help. A lot of help getting to the NBA Finals. Now, with that being said, the stage is set. How did this happen though? Money was coming in, nothing really astronomically bigger or lesser than something to get on someone's radar. What went wrong? What happened? Well, simply put, simply stated, simply put. Let's just say it's like this. Either you smoke or you get smoked. And a lot of people got smoked. A lot of moving pieces were done. Things were not kosher as it should have been. And because of it, a lot of things fell at the wayside. But somebody like myself, old good Sino, he saw the whole thing play out. And remember what was going on at that time. Now, here's the news. Kobe Bryant and his wife, Vanessa, is actually accompanying him throughout the 2002 playoffs. She's there. Now, they want to go eat at a Mexican restaurant after a shoot-around and practice. So that was the plan. They were supposed to go to a Mexican restaurant, but they're in Sacramento, right? Which isn't that far. It's far, but not that far from Los Angeles. But Kobe doesn't want to risk it. They're staying at the Sacramento Hyatt. Now, here is where the plot and everything gets dicey. Donnelly is not responsible for this, but was approached to to try to cheat and get the Kings to win. And he was offered a lot of money. That he could not do because Donnelly knew that the National Basketball Association would not approve of that because they want the Lakers to go to the NBA Finals and not the Sacramento Kings. He knows this, and he tried to lean towards them and said, I wouldn't do that. They're going to need the Lakers in the NBA Finals. So I wouldn't try to even be the one to try to change that. They will definitely catch on to what I'm doing. Now, I could shave some points off a game, but I definitely can't do that. And what they did was do the NBA's bidding because the games were so badly done. Donnelly had incriminated himself by doing the NBA's wishes of helping them get to the NBA Finals, which is what they wanted. They wanted that. So when you look at the end game, you're saying to yourself, well, man, why do they keep making all of these changes? Why they keep doing all of these different things? It was quite simple. It was money. Big money, multi-millions of dollars was going to change place if the Lakers, some reason, didn't make it to the NBA Finals. And the New Jersey Nets won. There was big money if the Nets won the championship. So, guess what happens next? The Lakers trainer, Gary Vitti, suggested to Kobe, after Kobe said he didn't trust it. Gary Vitti, who is the trainer for the whole team of the Los Angeles Lakers, suggested that, don't go outside, don't eat, don't trust it, and convinced Kobe not to go eat. Kobe was already feeling like antsy about it. So the wife, Vanessa, she went and ate without Kobe and didn't go out basically and ate with him to eat. She went to the Mexican restaurant, got the food and everything else, but Kobe decided not to go out and eat. And plus, he was afraid people would recognize her as well. So he calls her and said, don't get the food. So now, that's that. She's not going to get the food. So she goes, oh, okay, turns back around. So you gotta remember, no text messaging back then. So that's done. Now everything flips. Completely flips around. Because now you got a bigger headache. And you might say, well, what's the bigger headache? The bigger headache is now Kobe is still hungry. He hasn't eaten anything, and he had just did his shoot arounds, everything. He's hungry. Back to the hotel we go. Now, how does this ties into the New Jersey mob? Old Soprano gang. Well, a couple of misfits. This is how random this is. A couple of misfits, right? Who are part of the Jersey mob only by affiliation. They're mob affiliated. They're not part of the mob. They just know people in Jersey and they're friends with people who are in the mob. They want to be part of the mob. They want to be in. But they're not. So this is how randomly weird this is. One of them have a wife that's on a trip, and she's staying in the same hotel as the Los Angeles Lakers. She contacts her husband and says, oh, guess what? I'm here, and the Lakers are in the... We just saw them walk in. They're in our hotel. One of them come up with an idea and said, oh, we need to get to Sacramento. From Jersey to Sacramento, plane flies in. The two idiots come up with a plan. Remember when Michael Jordan got the flu and got sick? That almost worked. What if we get Shaq sick? If Shaq ain't in there, then we bet all the money on the Kings. We could make a killing. And then we can kick back money. They'll have to let us in the mob then. So these two idiots go out, make a phone call, talk to another guy who had a guy in Sacramento who could set things up for what they needed to have done. Now, where they get the food from and where they order the food from the hotel and how they can get this thing to work. Room service, delivering the food. Who was going to drop it off? Who was going to touch the food? All of this is under security camera. All of this is being watched. All the employees there are monitored. How was this even accomplished? Well, from what I was told by a super anonymous source, what people were looking at was the poisoning of the meat, but what they didn't look for was the actual tampering of the lettuce, the tomato, and the bacon. They weren't looking into that when they should have. Now, the problem was very simple. Before it came out of the kitchen, someone who was planted into the kitchen actually replaced a lettuce with contaminated lettuce. It's a quick move. Before it came out of the kitchen, they know where the cameras are. It's a quick move. So the meat wasn't contaminated. It was actually the lettuce when Kobe ordered the bacon cheeseburger. Now, they were trying to find out the room numbers of all the players. They could not find Shaq's room number. They didn't know which room number was Shaq's. But they found out the room number to Kobe Bryant because of his wife and the way she was moving. And by them staying connected and close and following behind the wife, they were able to find the room. And now they said, well, Kobe or Shaq, either one. It's going to be hard to win without either one. Now we got our plan in place. So now, with that in place, they go ahead, they do the switch, they do the move, and now, here it is. The burger is going up. They don't know if this burger is for Kobe or his wife, which they believe 100% is for Kobe. Now, the reason they know is because every room, it has a ticket where the room number is, and it has the room number on the ticket. So once they saw the ticket and the room number, they knew that's Kobe Bryant. So that guy came over there knowing that order was for Kobe, came over and did a little switcheroo with the letters. Now, how they were able to pull all that, that's like how they got the guy in there. I cannot give you details to that because that I don't know. But anyway, Kobe was sick. He ate and wasn't feeling too well. He didn't even finish the burger. He started immediately throwing up. He was breaking out in chills. He had immense diarrhea instantly. He was affected. Gary Vitti comes up, starts giving him fluids, giving him water, giving him everything. Kobe Bryant is in a tub. They got the shower going. And they just turning on the shower while he's defecating in the bathtub and throwing up. And Vanessa's witnessing this, and she's trying to comfort him while all this is happening. So they wanted the burger investigated, and everything that he ate and everything that went down. So the Department of Health was called. The local Department of Health was called in to investigate. None of you even know about that. They never even told you. So the Department of Health comes in to try to investigate what just went down with Kobe Bryant and this whole situation with the food poisoning, and will he be able to go the next day? Now, the thing was that this happened the night prior. So he had a whole 24 hours. Basically, he had way more time than Michael Jordan to get ready. But he's affected because he's not 100%. He's still a little weak. But by Kobe being younger than what Michael was when this happened, it really had an effect. But he was able to pace himself and play the whole game. If you don't know which game it was game 2 of the 2002 Sacramento Kings versus Los Angeles Lakers. And then you'll be able to see it for yourself. Now, as you can see, other things are being laid out and brought to the surface for the first time, and people are just blown away by it. But you got to take in consideration what's actually been transpiring and going on with how they lay things out when it comes to preparation and getting things prepared. You want to always be on top of the ball when it comes to these type of situations to protect the athletes, because people are crazy. And when it's money on the line, they don't care about health and family of these players. You know, you look at the way they're treating players now, you know, people throwing popcorn and all this other goofiness. They don't think about the life of the athlete or anything like that at that time. Now, the Lakers lost the game, but they ended up winning the series. And they swept New Jersey in the finals and won the NBA championship. So let it be known that they never got that chance to do that again. The NBA took precaution by putting security on Kobe and Shaq and the star athletes of the Los Angeles Lakers. They had private security where they stayed in the hotel on their floor. They monitored every food coming in and out. That's what the NBA did to protect their star players from being attacked when they go to rival cities, and especially Jersey. Now, the Jersey mob made a killing 2 years back to back as the New Jersey Nets went back to the NBA Finals again, and big money was put down for them to win, and they lose it all betting on the Nets to win the NBA Finals. I say that because the Nets, here we are again. Will this be the Nets' year to win the NBA Finals? Big money was put down. We'll see what happens. So, everybody on YouTube, you guys will get this later. My Patreons, they always get it first. My VIPs. So, deuces. I don't know when y'all gonna get it on YouTube. So, a lot probably have transpired. Brooklyn might be eliminated by the time y'all see this. By the Bucks.